Thank you, Marty. Going back, when Penny called me and asked me to come out and do this, I felt really honored and privileged. But there's some things that Marty said in her speech that I've got in my speech, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit more ad lib than I would like to. But I remember one time that Dan always loves hunting. So he would go on hunting trips, and he would come back, and for some reason, Shannon would tear a room apart in the house. And Dan came up to me shortly after that and says, "Dave, has Kathy ever done that to you?" I said, "Not lately, and hopefully she never does." So that's one of the funny remembrances I do have of Dan. First time I met Dan was back in the 70s when he came here. We had a feeder pig sale or fair pig sale out here out by the county. And Dan came out and Jim Fanta introduced me to Dan Short. I mean, I was just graduated from high school. About 4 years later, Dan comes in and he's going to be our livestock agent. And it was a privilege and honor to work with him. Dan started the livestock project. And remember, judging project, this was done before computers, cell phones. So, I mean, when we contacted people, we had to use landlines and talk to people or send letters out to get them to come to judging contests or judging workshops. And we would take time and we would involve producers. 1 week we would be a beef producer, the following week would be a sheep producer, another week would be a swine producer. All producers loved Dan in this county and gave him the openness of their farm and facilities to come and work on it. And remember, back then, we had turnouts of 40 to 50 people at these workouts. And that was before it was mandatory. Kids and parents and producers respect Dan Short in this county. He also showed that the youth, how they evaluate livestock. And I think that's why most of the youth came out to these workshops, because they wanted to do better in their project, to learn as much as they could in their project to do better the following year. Another thing that Dan would do is never call them kids. He always told me, do not call them kids, they are not baby goats. They are the youth of the county, and respect them in that way. Another good thing about Dan was when you're at a meeting, you couldn't hide in the corner. You could try to stand behind the tallest guy or whatever. But Dan would pick you out, say, "Miss Smith," or "Mr. Jones," and ask you a question. You could not get away from Dan asking you a question and getting you involved. And that's one thing I loved about Dan. Another thing is, when he came and we started this livestock judging clinics and doing this, he started getting me involved in going out in the judging county fairs. So he was kind of getting my feet wet to continue on and continue his legacy. One thing that probably not too many people know about, but when Dan received his money for the county fair that he judged, he would turn that money back to that county to use in their youth program, to improve their youth program. So Dan didn't just touch the lives of Dodge County youth, but he touched other county youth too. And then, as Dan did, we've got, like Marty said, about Mr. Smirchek. Well, Mr. Smirchek was part of the program. And what he did was he went on. He went up to Marathon County. He coached the livestock judging team up there. There were so many youth from this county that went beyond the means, went out and started clinics, started judging contests, teachers, professors, and doing some national shows. Also, Dan was very involved with the local producers. He was involved with the Dodge County pork producers. Back at that time, we had over 100 members. And he would have clinics. We would have clinics, 2 or 3 clinics every year to help producers improve what they've got. We always say it was always making the best better. Worked with Dan many times on the Meat Animal Sale Committee. I always remember one thing, one statement that he always made, and we're always looking at making rules. One thing he says, if you make the rule, you got to think about 2 things. Can you enforce the rule, and is it good for the youth of the county? And that always sticks in my mind As we dedicate the benches tonight, let us be joyful, grateful, proud to have known Dan Short. Dan was like a pebble. So you get a rippling effect when you. But I think in Dan's case, it was more like a rock. Thank you very much.